Ladies and gentlemen, it is now time for part 2 of Meeting 1, Native American Literature here at Sisseton Wahpeton College. Today is Wednesday, August 20th, 2025. And without any further yickety-yak or gobbledygook, let's jump right into part 2 of Meeting 1. The man himself, your intrepid host, Professor Victor Singingeagle. Yay! Right on. Now, the last time we spoke, we were looking at our lesson plan, which I always post these on eLearning. It's kind of an outline of junk that I talk about in class. We have gone through the roll call, the email announcements, this kind of stuff, and we're jumping on down to introductions, part 3, introductions. And I don't know if this is true for the Dakota people, so bear with me, because I am Potawatomi. Crane Clan, Runaway Band. And it's hard for us because our elders teach us not to say me, I all the time. It's discouraged in our culture. But in this case, as a professor, your intrepid, fearless leader, I got to do a little bit of me, I. So again, bear with me. Here we go. Well, as I said, I am a Potawatomi Indian. I belong to the Crane Clan, a runaway band of Potawatomi that is, what does that mean? Well, you see, way back in ancient times, the buffalo days, and the rabbit choker days, and the salmon fisher netgill days, our people, we were kind of the frenemies of the Dakota. We lived in the Great Lakes area, but every once in a while we'd come down and harass the Dakota people. But you guys outnumbered us 10-1. So of course we knew that we couldn't really get into some serious fights and arrows and bows and tomahawks and all that fun stuff. No, we would just go and harass you guys and maybe steal a woman, or the woman would steal us. Us guys, that is, and we would intermarry, and we traded with each other, but sometimes, we kind of skirmished, sort of like, I don't know, football games nowadays, who knows, but that's the short version. There's a long history between the Dakotas and the Potawatomis. As opposed to our older brothers, the Chippewa or Ojibwe or Anishinaabe. They are our older brothers. Our languages are mutually intelligible, but a little bit different depending on the accents and stuff like that. Those guys were always fighting with the Dakotas, but we were more like frenemies. Anyway, that's enough of that. By the way, I got a Chinese name, Wei Xi Ying. Let's see if we can make it bigger. There's Wei. This is Xi. This is Ying. Wei Xi Ying. Somehow in Taiwan, when I was teaching back in Taiwan a million years ago, they took Victor Singingeagle and did a phonetic translation? But they did it backwards. So instead of being Singingeagle Victor, Singingeagle's my surname, and Victor is, of course, my given name. They flipped it upside down, so Wei is now Victor. Is supposed to be my last name in China and Taiwan. So my given name would be Singingeagle. Huh, that's weird. Hey, Singingeagle Victor. But they call everybody by their last names first. So Professor Lee in the math department, she'd be Li Wenjing. Last name Li. First name, Wenjing, but they do it backwards. Call everybody by their last names first. I think they do that in Japanese too. But I'm talking too much already, ain't I? Yes, I am. All right. Let's talk about this really quick. I got to do this quickly. Noisy White Eagle used to be our family name way back in ancient times. Some famous fella named Noisy White Eagle, but then the newcomers and the missionaries came along. They changed our name, the French missionaries, I should say, or the Jesuits. They said, oh, bunch of savages. Look at these weird names. We're going to call them Blanchard, because Blanchard means white. something or other, blanchard, uh, white stone or white something. I don't know what the shard means. Maybe it does mean white stone. But somehow Noisy White Eagle got changed to Blanchard. And then, of course, this crazy old man standing in front of you said, nope, 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 nope. Once I came of age, I said, you know what, I'm going to change it back, but I don't want to call ourselves Noisy White Eagle. Singing Eagle sounds so much sweeter, doesn't it? Yeah. So that's how I got Singing Eagle. So, yeah, this is an ancient name, very traditional, got switched, and then some crazy man came along and switched it back. What do you know about me? Well, I'm a First Nations Orthodox priest, which means hard to explain. It's sort of like the Indian version of Catholicism without all the guilt and without all the, you guys are savages. We decided we're going to create our own version of Christianity. But I don't want to talk about that right now because I'm not supposed to be preaching. I'm a dad of 2 adult kids, Jessica and little Victor. How old are they? Like 40 years? Man, I'm getting old. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. I'm also a veteran of the U.S. Coast Guard, disabled veteran, supposedly. Well, let's see, my education. I was probably the youngest kid ever to go to the College of the Siskiyous way back in ancient days. We're talking the 1980s, before any of you guys were born. And then after I did that, I went and joined the military because I didn't have any money to go to college, because we're urban Indians, you see, and urban Indians do not get federal recognition, or we didn't. We're working on it, but back in the 80s and 90s, if you were an urban Indian, you're pretty much screwed. So you gotta make your own way. And the way I made my own way was to join the military. There's more to it than that, but we don't need to talk about that. After I got out of the military, after getting conked on the Kanoggan, which is another long story we don't need to talk about, I went on to the University of California at Santa Barbara, got a double bachelor's in English and anthropology. Then I went to Eastern Washington University, got a master's of fine arts in English writing with a cross-reference of Native American studies, which is awesome. Then I went to the University of Oklahoma, did my first PhD in anthropology, again focusing on Native Americans. And then went to the University of South Dakota for my second PhD in English, also with another emphasis on Native American literature. So you're in good hands with me. No, seriously. What else? I used to teach in Micronesia at the College of Micronesia. I taught in Taiwan at National Taiwan University, Tzu-Chi Daxue, Buddhist University, and Chinese Culture University. I taught at First Nations University of Canada and then a bunch of schools all over the USA, including Oregon State University, Concordia College, Alabama, and here, and Talladega College. Yakety, yakety, yakety. I could go on forever. Somehow I found out when I was teaching up in Canada that the fact that I have a pipe means that it is a big responsibility that I never knew. Because, I had this little medicine. We don't have medicine pouches in Canada. We have these cases that we carry. They look like little itty-bitty briefcases. We keep a lot of our medicine in these cases. And when we have medicine dances or healings, we bring our little case with us and we look like doctors sometimes. So one of the elders said, dude, I didn't know you were a pipe carrier. I said, well, yeah, doesn't everybody have a pipe? He says, no! Remember, I have been living all over the place and coming back to my own culture after being gone for so long and then coming to Canada where there's fellow Indians all over the place, and these are Cree Indians who are also related to the Potawatomi and the Chippewa and Ottawa people. We're all related and our languages are all related, our cultures are all related. Well, this elder is telling me that the fact that you have a pipe means you have responsibilities that you need to start honoring. you need to start hosting sweats and you need to start doing healings. And so I got pulled into all that fun stuff, which we don't need to talk about right now because this is a Native American literature class. By the way, literature and culture are closely entwined, are they not? We'll talk about that another time. How am I doing on time, speaking of which? 10 minutes and 28 seconds. We can stop it right there because I'm going to do the syllabus walkthrough. Thank you so much for being so patient and listening to all the me, I gobbledygook. Let's get straight to the syllabus in part 3. Talk to you later.